Okay, I'll call the March 21st meeting of the Fenton Township Board to order. Let's stand for a pledge and a prayer. Mr. Gopel, please.
You need to start the recording, Tom. We'll do that first.
Lord, we meet here tonight to conduct matters of business. We ask that you guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon these activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. And as always, we thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
See if I can get this going here.
Okay, roll call. Lorena's absent.
Recording in progress.
Krug is present. Tucker's absent. Gopel.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
I know where Kessler is. He is also absent. Reed.
I'm here.
Great, we have a quorum. I would also like to note that we have Attorney Jack Belzer, Operations Manager Tom Broker, Zoning Administrator Mike Dean, Fire Chief Ryan Voles, and I don't know if Julie's.
No, Julie's not here.
And we're also pleased to the following officials are present is Township Engineers Alan and Melissa Lawrence. You tell them about the recording, please, Tom.
Sure. To the members of the public attending today's meeting in person or via Zoom, please be advised the meeting is being recorded to be shown on Public Access TV, Spectrum Channel 191. Recorded meetings are also posted on the Fenton Area Community Television YouTube channel. For those attending via Zoom, we ask that you keep your microphone muted until we reach portions of the meeting where public comment is allowed. For tonight's meeting, there are ordinance introductions during which public comment will be taken. All other public comment will be taken near the end of the meeting. Meeting materials are available for download on the Township's website at fentontownship.org.
Thank you, Tom. Next is appointment of temporary chair. I need a motion to appoint whoever you wish.
I will move Clerk Krug.
Support.
Thank you. Roll call, Tom.
Lorraine is absent. Reed?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Krug?
Yes.
Kessler's absent. Gopel?
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Motion carries.
Next is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or subtractions from the agenda?
Yeah, I thought we might want to move the reckless discharge of firearms ordinance back so that Mr. Kessler, Lorraine, and Tucker have a chance to ask any questions they have about it.
Okay, I have no problem with that, but can we keep extending it, Jack, without, okay.
Take your meeting down, we were before. Can you hear me before? Thank you, maybe.
Okay, we'll remove that from the agenda. Okay, I need a motion in order to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, Tom.
I'm sorry, who made the motion on that one?
I did.
Who seconded
I did.
it? Krug?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Kessler's absent. Reed?
Yes.
Gopel?
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Lorraine is absent. Motion carries.
Thank you. Next are the meeting minutes for the March 7th regular meeting and the March 9th special meeting. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these minutes? Hearing none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Are there any questions regarding any of the invoices tonight? Okay. I need a motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $977,285.38.
So moved.
Roll call, Tom?
Reed,
Yes.
Goble,
Yes.
Tucker's absent, Kessler's absent, Lorraine is absent. Krug,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
motion carries.
Public hearings, we have none. Reports. Hey, election committee, we gotta meet on the April 4th.
Okay, you wanna do it at 6?
I was thinking 5:45, because don't you have public safety at 6?
Yeah, but normally it doesn't take a half hour.
Okay.
It's up to you.
We can do 5:40, as long as everyone can be here at 5:45, it gives you a little extra time.
Okay,
5:45 minutes.
thank you. There are no communications. Adoption of ordinances, the reckless discharge of firearms has been moved. Next is the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing code ordinance introduction, first reading. I assume you've reviewed it in your packet. Does anyone have any questions or concerns?
I think as our attorney mentioned, we'll double check to see if there's other steps involved before everything is finalized, but this is just an introduction, so we're not adopting it tonight, so we'll
Okay.
make sure all that's wrapped up before the next meeting.
Just so, my concern is you
Yeah.
can do this, but in order for the township to prosecute it, you know, it's no different than the sheriff's department could write somebody a violation of state law, but they can't then have it prosecuted by the township. So if you don't adopt those codes at the township level, you can enforce it, but it's done through the state,
Mhm.
which causes a disconnect sometimes. But
Gotcha.
that's all I have.
Okay.
So are you saying here, Jack, that we don't have that language in here?
Right, all this does is.
We need
under-
additional language is what you're
If you want to
suggesting.
do it ourselves, the state law allows for municipalities to designate themselves as the enforcing agency. And just like the sheriff's department can enforce state laws, and so when we do that, the electrical inspector can enforce the state law for the electrical code. In order for us to do it under an ordinance, we have to adopt by ordinance those codes. And when you do that, I just know from past experience and reading those things, the first few pages of those codes, which are prepared by people in that field, it gives them, you know, longevity, it protects them from being terminated and on and on and on. So you have to make some additions and corrections and stuff if you adopt those codes. Otherwise, you can't just terminate them, you have to give them all kinds of hearings and preferences and this and whatever.
Okay.
Had Vince said, was it Linden that already did this? There was some.
Fenton's already done
Fenton
it.
City of
did it.
Fenton did it.
We're talking about partnering with
Yeah.
London.
Okay. So do we know if they adopted the?
They have not.
Okay.
No.
Linden has not, no.
So in your opinion, should we move forward?
Oh,
Jack?
yeah, it's no problem, it's just you have to
Okay.
make that decision.
Is
We
it
need
something we
another
can just
step.
add on to it and then it becomes a second reading or it goes back to first?
If we have to amend the ordinance, yeah, we can they'll just extend it 2 weeks, which won't be a problem.
Okay.
Or if there's a separate ordinance that adopts the code versus
Right,
designating us as
That's how I
enforcing
would
agency,
suggest.
that might work too.
yeah, that's how I would suggest.
Okay, so the second reading and vote on adoption of the proposed ordinance will be conducted at the April 4th meeting. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, first one is extension of the building inspector service and agreement. Any comments or questions if you've read in the packet?
All we're proposing to do is, if you remember, because we wanted to adjust the language in the agreement, we had extended the existing one for 3 months to allow us to do that. Well, during that time, and this was discussed at the special meeting, we're looking at having our own in-house employee building official rather than contracted. So while we're working those details out, the recommendation is to extend it up to 3 more months, but with the provision that it'll end as soon as we hire somebody.
Okay. I need a motion to extend the current building inspector service agreement with STSA Construction LLC through June 30th of 2023 until a full-time building official has been hired, whichever occurs first.
I'll move the motion.
Support.
Roll call, Tom?
Patrick?
Yes.
Kessler is absent. Krug?
Yes.
Skopel?
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Lorraine is absent. Reed?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, reviewing the next is Pinnacle Shores Improvement Special Assessment District. If we need 4 votes to pass and Mr. Kotrick abstains,
I don't believe we need 4 votes to pass. There are certain things that do require a majority of the
Okay,
board, like
I-
ordinances, but something like this, a majority of the quorum present is sufficient, unless,
Jack,
I looked it up on the MTA website, and there's nothing in there.
What do you
that
think,
says-
Jack?
I think it ought to be a majority of the board. And you're right, there are exceptions to that, that's not always required. Sometimes,
And ordinances and selling property and buying property,
Right.
there are certain things that require a majority of the board. Almost everything else, a majority of the quorum present
Right,
is
and that's,
sufficient.
that's fine, I mean, as long as everybody's comfortable doing that with 4 out of the 7 people making whatever decision, and so you'd be down to,
Now it's 3,
Right.
so,
I mean, if everybody's comfortable, that you're correct, you can in fact do that. And there are a number of times when you have to have a quorum of the entire board, but there's other times where you just have to have the majority of the people that are present.
Right.
The question becomes, which is kind of tricky, do you then have a quorum of the board if one of the members abstains? Because now you're down to just 3 members.
so in your opinion, would it be best?
It'd be
To move it
safer,
to
it'd be
April.
safer to wait.
Okay.
Only because if one of the 3, or one of the 4 people abstain, you only have 3 people, which really isn't a quorum. And normal practice is, although we can't do it here, if somebody abstains, they get out, they leave their seat, they sit in the audience, they have nothing to say. Well then, if that's the case, now you have just 3 people, which isn't a quorum, and it's just safer. If somebody wants to complain, it's not worth 2 weeks. That's safe than sorry.
Okay, that really shouldn't cause any problems, putting it off 2 weeks.
Okay, so we will postpone that or
Motion to
move
postpone,
it.
or just,
Probably should make a motion to postpone it to the next
all right,
meeting.
I'll
just to
make
be
a motion to
safe.
postpone for
Thank
2
you.
weeks.
I'll support.
Roll call.
Well, if I could,
Yeah.
this was set for a hearing, right?
No.
No, we've already had the hearing.
All right, so
There
yeah.
wasn't, you weren't here, but there wasn't a lot of contention there.
Okay, yeah, so no, postpone's fine. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, we had the motion and second. Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker, and Lorraine are absent. Patrick?
Yes.
Abstaining, of course. Krug?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Kessler's absent. Motion carries.
Can we do a motion without a quorum?
Well, you just postpone it, yeah, even if,
Can we postpone without a quorum?
yeah.
Mr. Lawyer?
I mean, because even if, like, if only 1 person showed up for the meeting, they could call the meeting to order and adjourn and
Yeah.
postpone it,
Okay,
yeah, so.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but I
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to,
that's fine.
I caught it that,
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if my abstention applied to postponing or
Yeah,
not.
I
you
wa-
screwed it up.
I wasn't thinking about the abstention affecting whether or not we had a quorum, only the vote, because I know a 3-1 vote on something is still valid.
Oh, yeah, right,
But, yeah,
but this
it's
would
a
be,
different issue,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
well, we'll blame Kate, so.
just so it's not me that gets blamed out.
So that will be moved to the April 3rd meeting. Next is Resolution 2023-17, drain maintenance limits, Parker Lake Drain.
Pets Road.
Huh?
Parker
Oh,
Lake
Pets
is
Road.
by Pets Road. Sometimes it's called Pets Road, Pets Lake, but Parker Lake. So what the county is requesting the maintenance that's needed on that drain is more than they're allowed to do in a single year. And they could just do part of it, do a Band-Aid and come back and finish it next year. They would prefer, which would save money overall, to just get it all done in 1 year. And so they're looking at an additional $5,000 in maintenance. We pay 35% of that on a large basis each year on the drain maintenance they do. We've done it once or twice before. It certainly, it seems to make sense. And there's a resolution, if there are any, unless there are questions first.
Okay, so I need a motion to adopt.
Let me just read the.
You want to read it? Okay,
It's just two quick resolving clauses here.
okay.
Resolution 2023-17 approves and authorizes the expenditures in excess of the statutory limit in order to complete the necessary maintenance and/or repairs to Parker Lake Drain number 1126. Authorizes and directs the supervisor and clerk to execute the resolution on behalf of the township and file same with the Genesee County Drain Commissioner.
I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Support.
Roll call, Tom?
Kessler's absent. Krug.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Moran is absent. Patrick.
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Gopel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution's adopted.
Pardon me. Next is Resolution 2023-18, a recreational passport grant application, the Thompson Road Regional Dog Park. Mr. Dean.
Yeah, so in working with Paper Crane, our grant writers, they've identified the passport grant as an opportunity for us to do some improvements to the regional dog park. And one of the projects that was identified out of the Parks and Rec plan that was just approved was potential of putting in bathrooms. As part of that application, we need a resolution authorizing us to make the application. What this is not doing is obligating us to any funding. If the grant were to be approved, there is a matching requirement. I believe it's 20%. We're not at that point yet where we need to make that decision. We will have an opportunity later if for some reason we are granted. But right now, we're just asking for a resolution to allow us to make the application.
Any comments or questions? Anybody in the audience? Any comments or questions? Okay, Tom, would you read Resolution 2023-18?
Yes, Resolution 2023-18 authorizes the submission of a Michigan Recreation Passport Grant Program application for the development of a universal design restroom for the Thompson Road Regional Dog Park.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolutions.
Support.
Roll call, Tom?
Tucker is absent, Lorraine is absent, Gopel,
Yes.
Kessler is absent, Reed,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Krug.
Yes.
Motion carries, resolution's adopted.
Okay, the next is board comment. Is there any comment from any of the board members? I did see today that our drain commissioner made an announcement on Facebook that Thompson Road will be shut down this week and possibly into next week as they bring the water under Fenton Road to come up to Thompson Road. Just
I believe it's the westbound lane only will be closed beginning Thursday. So
okay.
eastbound will be open, so you'll be able to get everywhere, you just might have to make a big circle to get to it.
Yeah. So, just for information.
Thank you.
Is there any comments from anybody on Zoom?
Anyone on Zoom who has a comment, please unmute and fire away.
So there was a chat question asking if these meetings are able to be attended in person. I believe the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? We're at Township Hall, and all our meetings are open to the public.
Yes. Any last chance? Okay. Then on that, I will move adjournment at 10 minutes to 8.
7.
Or 7.